Hey there, Shanel here from the Heart and Soul with your weekly Oracle card reading for September 21st through the 27th, 2020. This week I was drawn to the Universal Love deck by, I have to always look at this, Tony Carmine Salarando. I've always loved this piece of art on the front of it. And I've used it before I even got this deck of cards. I used that piece of art in, I think, a blog post or maybe on social media. It is so pretty. So let's draw 3 cards for this coming week. A clear message for us to understand the energy of this coming week. That is 2. And we're going to take that one for 3. Okay. Card number 1 is listening. Beautiful energy of the universe beaming down for listening. Our second card is expectancy, a beautiful blossoming flower. It could be expectancy like pregnancy or giving birth like we talked about last week, but I also feel like we're being asked about expectations this week as well. Our third card is fear. A very interesting card that is coming up. We have continued to move forward on this journey of kind of an unknown, of rediscovery and contemplation. I believe most of this kind of started in the beginning of COVID when we suddenly had to take a slowdown. Our expectation of what life used to be is now completely different, and we've had to let go of expectation and just be open to what is and what is being put before us. They are saying that the listening aspect is very important in the sense that we have to be open to seeing the signs and symbols that are being put before us. Last week, I had like 2 days where solidly I kept on getting messages from the universe, little things that were reminders, feathers that I'm supported, my little Mickey head to remind me that, of joy and happiness and bringing that into my life and how important that is. When we are open to seeing them, they're there and they're so abundant, and it is so amazing and beautiful that we can be open to all these things that are being put in front of us. But when we're closed off to it, we're being given them and then we're ignoring them, so we're not picking up the messages the universe are sending. Or sometimes it's this whole expectation thing, and I feel like there's a lot of that right now. There's an expectation of what's to happen next. And that expectation of those that are meant to help us on our journey, or those that are part of our circle, but expectation is a very dangerous thing in the sense that it sets us up for failure and it sets us up for disappointment, because we are putting out an energy that maybe doesn't resonate with the person or situation that we are putting it on. So that's important to remember. I also feel like expectancy and birthing is really important this week. We are on this continued path of birthing new beginnings, that we are starting to really step forward into this new energy of creation and creating something new. When we can really trust and believe in that, it moves forward with gusto, with speed in the manifestation department. When we have a lack of trust or we're moving from a place of fear, it slows this down. I've been working on a blog post about fear that I just haven't been able to tweak quite right yet to send out to you guys, but it's coming. But fear is a really low energy, and it's interesting, and I talk about this in the blog post, that I've had a few spiritual teachers recently talking about fear and how we can detach from fear and not have to actually fear things, but just acknowledge that it is there, like that we detach from that emotion and feeling it in our bodies, even though there's an acknowledgement of that being there. So one talked about it as in swimming with the sharks and feeling safe. And another was, suspended out over a cliff, being harnessed and held properly so that there was no need for being fearful, but just to be able to take in the beauty of the valley below and to observe instead of feeling scared. So the universe is reminding us this week that there is a plan. And when we trust in that plan, we'll be given the messages, the signs, the symbols, the directions that we are meant to be going in. But we also have to hold on to that trust in listening to our own selves to create that pathway, to see those things that are being put before us. And that when we can believe in that, they will give us the things that we need for moving forward. When we can let go of the expectation of what should be and be open to what is a very big thing. And again, this openness will allow us to let go of some of that fear. So the camera turned off. I don't know why that happened. Back to fear. So fear is a place we don't want to move from. When we move from a place of fear, we're pulling in the low energies. We're pulling in the things that we fear instead of moving from a place of being open and trusting. It is a very, very different energy, and it will create very different things from us. When we move from a place of fear, we are not moving from a place that is for our highest good. But it's okay to be fearful. It's okay to acknowledge it. We just don't want to feed it. We don't want to feed the fears this week. So ask yourself, what are the fears that are coming up for you, and how can you address them? How can you look at them so that you can move past those fears? It does feel like this week has some ups and downs that we have to ride. I suggest riding them like a roller coaster and putting your hands in the air and smiling and moving through it with a good old scream and a big old laugh. But it definitely feels like there's a bit of a roller coaster this week to get through. But in the end, the things that we have to let go of, the things that we allow ourselves to birth are things that will take us forward into this next month with a joy in our hearts and a blissfulness that seems to be coming. All right. If you haven't signed up for my newsletter, please check out my website. Sign up for that newsletter. You'll get my free quiz and a guided meditation on how do you receive intuitively. But also when you sign up for that newsletter, you get special perks. I do offer a special each month. October's has to do with readings, and I might actually throw a second bonus in there this month. I'm kind of feeling a little generous when it comes to gifting these days. So maybe there'll be two things in that October newsletter. I'll include that blog post in there as well, so definitely check it out. Of course, you can follow along on social media with me. Love to have you follow along, hit the subscribe button. All those things are super helpful. And of course, remember to reach out. Feel free to comment on social media. I'd love to connect with all of you guys. You are what makes the journey extra special, and I am so grateful to have you here and to watching. It is a blessing for sure. So from my heart and soul to yours, have an amazing rest of your week.